Hi and welcome everyone to Roo Hammer's NRL Round 4 review, where we take a look at the Round 4 results and give our thoughts. Before we get started, I want to invite you all to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. The banner's running across the bottom of the screen there. To show your support for the content we create, subscribing to the channel puts you in the draw to win some exclusive Roo Hammer merchandise, like what we're wearing today. So click that subscribe button now. Rob, another great round of footy, mate, with some close scores. Let's jump in and have a look at these, eh?
Yeah, mate, let's do this. Again, some very interesting results and one massive blowout. So going back to Thursday night, the first game of the round 4, much anticipated grand final replay between the Eels and the Panthers. That was played at CommBank Stadium. Eels getting off the mark, 17. Cartwright and hand tries, Moses 4 from 4, and the all-important field goal in Golden Point. Up against the Panthers, 16. Edwards and Hoskins tries. Cleary 3 from 3, and that unbelievable 2-point field goal to put the game into extra time. So as we said, the 2022 grand final replay, Eels' third home game at CommBank Stadium in 4 weeks, and the Panthers, they're coming off the bye. The Eels were looking to avoid a 0-4 start to the season. No grand final team from the previous seasons has ever started 0-4. Great contest to kick off the round of footy. Last season, the Eels, they beat the Panthers twice in the regular season. And Mitch Moses re-signing until 2028 earlier in the day obviously had a positive effect on the team. And in particular, the man himself, Moses, he had an outstanding game.
Yep.
The Eels, seemingly dominant first half. They completed 95%, and they had a really good percentage of attack inside the Panthers' half. And then it was 8-8 at halftime, and both teams, they conceded just the one try. So high-quality game of footy. Penrith, they were reduced to 16. Sonny Lukey failed a HIA in the second half. And then Parra took the lead again in the 58th minute through debutant Brendan Hands, scoring with his first touch. What a great moment for the young fella.
Absolutely.
And the Panthers, with the try to Hosking in the 73rd minute, got Penrith back to within 2 points, 16-14. Then the Eels, they gave away a penalty with seconds remaining. Junior Bolo sent to the sin bin, reducing the Eels to 12, which he thought was going to be a non-issue. But then with no time left on the clock, the Iceman himself, Nathan Cleary, just slots a 2-point field goal. Unbelievable. And that leveled the scores and took the game to Golden Point. And absolute ice running through the veins of that man. Unbelievable moment.
Yeah.
Mitch Kenny, though, he was sent to the sin bin in Golden Point. That leveled up the numbers once again. The penalty giving Parramatta field position and for Mitch Moses to nail the field goal and finally get the Eels on the board and recording their first win of the season. Thoroughly deserving, though, and they completed 42 out of 44 sets.
Yeah, high-quality game of footy, as you said, mate. Cleary, he's just calm under pressure. I know we joke and we call him the cyborg, but he really is a cyborg. He's just,
But he actually is,
he really is. And one player I thought was really good for the Panthers in the losing side was Zach Hosking. A great pickup for them.
Very good.
Yeah, from the Broncos, and I'm sure he'll be a regular in that 17 for the remainder of the season. Mate, we move on to Friday. There was 2 games played on Friday. Game 1 was the misfiring Storm against the hapless Tigers at Amy Park, and it was the Storm 24. Warbrick, Meaney, Olam, and Munster tries. Meaney 4 from 6 goals, beat the Tigers 12. Kapoa and Coruscant tries. Dewey kicking 2 from 2 goals. Mate, as I said, 2 teams under serious pressure to find some form for 2023. Munster was the all-important inclusion for the Storm, particularly with Jerome Hughes ruled out with suspension. And the Tigers, they had a host of changes, particularly in their spine. For me, it was a game marred by errors and missed opportunities. Melbourne were the first to score through Will Warbrick, the ex-All Black, getting his first NRL try. The Tigers' first try, courtesy of the Tigers' 2 big off-season signings in Isaiah Papali'i and Johnny Bateman. They combined to put Kapoa over on that left edge. Melbourne kicked into gear, and a further 2 tries consolidated a dominant 22-6 halftime lead. The Tigers kind of clawed their way back into the game midway through the second half, and they looked to have swung the momentum of the game. But once again, poor handling and poor kick options in subsequent sets really prevented further scoring when they really needed to get back into that contest. Mate, a scrum win against the feed. How bizarre. I can't remember the last time I saw that in this day and age. I've seen a push in a scrum where the non-feeding team has pushed the other team off the ball. But this
We
was
did it against Parramatta in 2014. Yeah,
yes,
Sam Tompkins scored off the back of the scrum. I remember that.
yes.
And,
But
and
a
famously
legitimate
in '94, Peter Ryan scored a match-winning try against the Bulldogs as scrubbing against the feet. But I cannot remember it happening again since then.
no, and a legitimate rake, like actually raking the ball back from the scrum.
Sums up the Tigers, mate. Sums them
It
up.
does. It does. How do you lose a scrum against the feed when you're feeding into your second row? And as you said, it sums up the Tigers perfectly. Mate, with the Tigers facing Brisbane and Parramatta over the next 2 weeks, there's a real possibility that they won't get their first competition points of 2023 until round 7 when they have the bye. And even then, I think I'll tip the bye in my tipping for that week.
It'll be a tight matchup.
It will. Melbourne, far from impressive, but mate, a win is a win, and 2 points is 2 points, and it'll be one that they will truly relish moving forward in this comp. Game 2, mate, up in your neck of the woods, the much anticipated Battle of Brisbane at Suncorp Stadium.
The third Battle of Brisbane, remember?
Yes. The undefeated, two undefeated Brisbane teams facing off against each other for the first time, and it's going to be the beginning of what will be a really intense rivalry between these two clubs.
Yeah.
Mate, it was the Broncos who surprisingly were the away team of this game. The Broncos 18, Jesse Arthur's, Cobbo, Capewell and Staggs tries. Reynolds 1 from 4 goals.
Yeah, bizarre, wasn't it? Off night with the boot.
Yeah, very off night. The Dolphins 12, Wallace. The Hammer, again, crossing the line for the 4th week in succession. Asako, 2 from 2 goals. And as I said, Builders the game of the round, if not the season. Brisbane wearing an interesting design with that Brisbane skyline. And perhaps it was another one of those My Town statements from the Broncos.
Yeah, very much so. Very much so. It was a little bit purplish as well. It looked like the Phoenix Suns jersey or something like that.
Yeah, it did actually. The crowd seemed like it was a genuine 50-50 split too, but there was definitely some feeling exhibited by both teams at various stages in the contest. The Broncos with the opening try of the contest, a left side shift for ex-Warrior Arthurs to score in the corner after 25 minutes. Speaking of ex-Warriors, Katie Nikorima opened up after a head clash with Tom Gilbert. Friendly fire there. He left the field, failed his HIA not to return. Apart from the one try, it was a pretty even and highly entertaining first half. A real highlight was Reece Walsh's tackle on Tessie New to deny the Dolphins late in that first half when the Dolphins were attacking on their left side. You made the comment to me at the time, did Reece Walsh learn that at the Warriors?
We've never bagged his defence. Never.
Never have we. Mate, both teams had opportunities in the first half, but they were really denied by some desperate defence. The Broncos extended their lead in the second half with a try to Cobbo, set up by Reece Walsh, accelerating into the line. He's certainly in red-hot form at the moment. A converted try for the Dolphins, and it was game on at 8-6 with 20 minutes remaining. Brisbane's obvious weakness is their back three is that they're gun shy to take the high ball on the full when under pressure. We saw it happen 3 times in this game where Cobbo let it bounce twice and Walsh let it bounce once. And that's something that I'm pretty sure Kev Walters will want them to fix up. Attack that ball, put a name on it. Dolphins with some key injuries in key positions. Nikorima with that head injury, as I said. Sean O'Sullivan, he had a torn pec.
It's not looking good there. Yeah.
No. They're going a bit short in the halves at the moment because Isaiah Katoa is injured as well. But it was a defining moment for Milford. He had to stand up, and stand up he did with that deft little grubber he put in for the Hammer to put the Dolphins in front. Kurt Capewell busted through a hole. He ran about 40 metres plus to score in the corner. He's the new recipient of a TB122 by the looks of things on his way to the line. And Reynolds with a sideline conversion, the only kick he got all night, put the Broncos back in front with 8 minutes remaining. An error on tackle 1 from Reece Walsh looked to have handed the Dolphins a courageous win, but the kick from Milford into the in-goal finds Staggs, who ran 100 metres to ice the game for the Broncos. And that was kind of a sliding door moment because that wasn't a bad kick
really
at all.
Wasn't. Yeah, it was just unlucky that it found the man straight away.
Absolutely. Staggs letting everyone know whose home ground it was.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what his message was there. It wasn't quite subtle enough.
No. Yeah, it wasn't, was it? Mate, the Dolphins still courageous in defeat. They lost no fans with a superb effort, particularly with the couple of guys that they did have out not playing in this game and the guys that they lost during the game. A fantastic game of footy. Lived up to the pre-game hype. I love it when that happens.
Oh, absolutely. It was a very worthy game for, as you said, the whole hype and the build-up that there had been. It's just been fantastic for rugby league in Southeast Queensland. The whole place has been buzzing, and it literally does feel 50-50. As you said, the crowd was 50-50. A lot of people have jumped from other teams and are now onto the Dolphins. It helps that they've started off with a hot record, but they lost no fans at all with their performance, and it's just great for Southeast Queensland to have this kind of hopefully one of many local derbies to for people to look forward to when the draw comes out.
Absolutely, mate.
Yeah. Moving on to Super Saturday, there are only two games this Super Saturday. Game one was the other Queensland derby, and that was played at Queensland Country Bank Stadium between the Cowboys and the Titans. It was the Cowboys 24, Nane, Tamo, and Holmes and Chester tries. Holmes 4 from 4. The Titans 12. Khan Pereira, he got a double, and Boyd 2 from 3. Cowboys under pressure to kickstart their season and really needed a good start, but it was anything but good. They gave up the first points to the Titans. The Cowboys forwards really struggling in the yardage department for the second week in a row. And the Titans lost both Kieran Foran and AJ Brimson to game-ending injuries within a minute of each other midway through the first half. Absolutely huge losses for the Titans there.
Yeah.
And to lose one player from your spine is bad enough, but two key spine players within a minute of each other put so much pressure on the Titans for the rest of the game. The Cowboys, they did have their own injury concerns. They lost Murray Tuolangi with an MCL at halftime. And then the Cowboys took an early lead in the second half with a try to Jimmy Tamo. Andrew Voss calling it the slowest try he's ever seen, happening dead set in slow motion. Was Jason Smith involved in it somehow? Because I used to say he played slow motion football. But he said, happened in slow motion. He said Milk turned quicker than Mo Fodawaker did in defence. And I actually missed it at the time. I remember you telling me about it. I went back and watched it. He dead set turned like the Queen Mary.
Yeah.
It was. I mean, it's obvious fatigue, and again, the game played in sweltering conditions. But yes, we love Vossi. He's got a great turn of phrase. Yeah.
Yep.
An intercept try off a Tanner Boyd looping pass to Val Holmes, and the Cowboys turned an 8-point deficit into a 10-point lead. And the Cowboys then reduced to 12 with Nane. He got 10 minutes in the sin bin for dangerous lifting tackle. Aaron Shop doing a Paddy Herbert impression. He failed to pass with an unmarked Phil Summer. I couldn't believe that one.
No.
He was in the corner for sure, and then lost the ball as well in the process to compound that error. But then the Cowboys, they punished the Titans with a try to Tom Chester at the other end of the field, and that sealed a 24-12 result.
Hasn't he been a find, Tommy Chester?
Yes. A ball of energy. He was involved in everything last week, and once again this week he's young, enthusiastic. He's got a long future in the game.
Absolutely he does, yeah.
Yeah, game two, another blockbuster encounter between the Rabbits, who were honouring club legend John Sattler, who passed away during the week, and Seabold's Sea Eagles, who were heavily entrenched at the top of the table, as you would expect. Yep. That was a replay of the 1970 grand final, where Sattler's toughness has been etched into rugby league folklore, where he played the broken jaw for 67 minutes. To honour Sattler, the Rabbits wore the half rabbit emblem on their jersey, in honour of Sattler's torn rabbit emblem on his jersey in that iconic grand final. The pre-game ceremony and the respect shown by all in attendance was fitting for a man of Sattler's stature in the game. You
see these pre-game things like minute silences that they have or ceremonies, and there's always a dickhead in the crowd that yells out.
Yeah.
But this was really, really good. I was really, really pleased with how the crowd that were on hand there to watch that game really respected Johnny Sattler's memory and his legacy, because it was a really, really moving, ceremony at the beginning of the game, and great to see Scotty Sattler out there too with his family on the field with all the Rabbitohs boys as well.
Yeah, very, very touching moment. And to honour the great man, the Rabbitohs got the job done. 13 points, 12 victory. Walker with 2 tries, Mitchell 2 from 3, and Ilias with the golden point field goal. Sea Eagles 12, Olakalatu and DCE with tries, Garrick 2 from 2. It was a very even contest between the two teams to start off, even possession and even completion rates. Manly with some opportunities early, but South's defence, that it held firm. And then a freakish try to Cody Walker, absolutely never giving up on the chase and getting downward pressure on the bouncing ball like dead set millimetres inside the dead ball line. reaching around Cherry Evans, who was shielding the ball. Thought he had a bit more time than he did, and an immediate strike back from the Sea Eagles, and a one-handed take by Olakalatu from a DCE bomb flying high above the pack, and he scored an absolutely freakish try. Something about these second rowers these days becoming try machines off kicks.
Absolutely,
it's the new age second rower. Yeah. Manly with all the momentum, and they could have had a handy lead going into halftime, but they had 2 disallowed tries. That kept the score at 6-all going into halftime before DCE intercepted the Seagulls ahead 12-6 at halftime. And Cody Walker picked up his second try early in the second half and nearly got a third with some fancy footwork, once again splitting the Manly defence. Contentious penalty that closed the gap for a high shot. That was a shoulder. Gifted the Rabbits 2 points, and that leveled the scores at 12-all and set up the exciting final 10 minutes. But neither team was able to really get themselves in position for that field goal. And Latrell missed a low sort of hook kick, and DC had his attempt charged down by Damien Cook. Great defensive effort from both sides, it must be said. Yep. And that took us into golden time. And Josh Aloiae with the error gave the Bunnies perfect field position. And Lachlan Ilias made no mistake and slotted the all-important field goal for a 13-12 win in 13, which was the iconic number of the night, Sattler's jersey number, and the Rabbits' final score, and Cody Walker's 13th career double.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic game, that one. Mate, you're talking about the freakishness of the back rowers in the game now that can score these tries from high balls. Let's not forget who started that. It was a one Jack Murchie at the Warriors in 2020.
Yes, it was. The merchandise. Exactly. It was too.
2 tries against the Bulldogs in 2020. The good old merchandise. Mate, just a side note on that game. What the hell is happening with DCE's hair? I seriously thought Darren Lockyer from 2006 had run out on the field and put on a Manly jersey. It was, it was bizarre. His hair's just receded in the space of a week.
Mate, that's what I told you. It's like after one pre-season with Siebes, and his hair just goes.
I will give Anthony Seibold some raps here. I did watch the post-match press conferences by both coaches. Both spoke glowingly of the ceremony before the game. And when given an opportunity to criticise the referees for the forward pass call on the Tom Trbojevic, what would have been a Tom Trbojevic try that clearly was not forward off Josh Schuster, he really didn't go into the debate over that. Said these things happen in games. And, I thought that was a really big sign of he's grown as a coach, I think, Siebes.
He would have learned a lot over the last few years, that's for sure.
Absolutely. But yeah, mate, Sunday, move on to Sunday footy. Kicked off for with 3 games on a Sunday this time round. The first of the 3 games played at Mount Smart Stadium. Our One New Zealand Warriors first true home game of the season, hosting the visiting Bulldogs. And it was the Warriors 16. Valea, Montoya, Johnson tries. Johnson 2 from 3 goals. Getting home over the Bulldogs 14. Karaz, Adokar tries. Burton 2 from 2. Made a fantastic character building, come from behind victory from the Warriors. They found themselves 8 points down on 2 separate occasions, but showed great character and resilience to fight back and get the 2 points. That's all we're going to say about it here tonight. If you want to tune in on Wednesday night, you can for our full review right here on our YouTube channel. That'll be Wednesday, 7 p.m. Queensland time, 8 p.m. New South Wales time, 10 p.m. New Zealand time. If you want to catch our live review of the Warriors game,
make sure you check it out.
Absolutely. Game 2, mate. Ricky's Raiders travelling up the Hume Highway and then across to the M1 to take on a wounded Newcastle Knights. But it was the Knights who got the chocolates in the end. 24. Greg Marziu 2 tries. Best, Gagai, Frizzell tries. Hastings none from 2. Lockie Miller 2 from 3 goals. Over the Raiders 14. Young, Whiten tries. Harawira Naira 2 from 2 goals. And Frawley a 2-point field goal. Mate, Jamal Fogarty, he was a late exclusion for the Raiders. Matt Frawley, he was the late replacement. The Knights with the better share of possession for the first half looked the most likely with good periods of attack. The Raiders making the most of their limited opportunities, though to be unlikely halftime leaders, considering the halftime attacking stats, all in the favour of the Knights. Goal kicking the main difference, with Hastings missing his 2 conversions attempts in the first half. A 2-point field goal from Matt Frawley gave the Raiders a 6-point lead at halftime. And a brilliant start to the second half from the Knights. They scored back-to-back converted tries to start the second half. And to compound things for the Raiders, Jack White was sent to the sin bin for a dangerous tackle on Hastings. And the Knights took full advantage of that numerical advantage. Tyson Frizzell scoring immediately to take the lead out to 10. The Raiders did considerably well to stop the bleeding and limit the Knights to just that one try during the sin bin period. But that second half just turned into a bit of an arm wrestle. Neither team able to break the other's defence despite plenty of opportunities. And the Knights, they held on and secured their second win of the season and kept Ricky's Raiders to just one win and just sitting above the old Tigers on the table there. And then the final game.
I just want to say before you go on, they kept referring to Greg Marzu as the Beast. Now, come on, guys. There's only one beast.
That's right. And then there was the mini beast, which was Ken. So this guy's going to be the mini beast, if at
beast.
all. Yeah, baby beast. Yeah. The final game of the round saw the Dragons at home against their southern rivals, the Cronulla Sharks. Mate, it was the Sharks that ran out winners in this one. 40. Your mate, Pre-Jack Mulatalo 2, Ramian 2, Kennedy a try, Nikora and Katoa tries, Hines 5 from 7, and Talakai 1 from 1 goal over the Dragons 8. Hunt, Sewer tries, Lomax none from 2 goals. Mate, the return of the Dally M medalist Nico Hines for the Sharks was a huge boost for them, and what a return it was. The Sharks got the early lead with a try to their ever-reliable fullback Will Kennedy, and the signs looked ominous for the Dragons. However, the Dragons consolidated and they scored back-to-back tries to take an unlikely 8-6 lead. Zach Lomax inconsistent with his goal kicking. And then the Sharks, with some sustained pressure, got a try through Jesse Ramey, and then they led 12-8 at half-time. But, mate, the Sharks came out, they extended their lead after half-times with tries to Pre-Jack Mulatalo, Britton Nakora to take a 22-8 lead at the 53rd minute, and then Pre-Jack extended the lead with his try-double midway through the second half, and then a second to Ramian minutes later, and the Sharks scoring points at will, and the Dragons just had no answers to the Sharks' attack. It was all the Nico Hines show, a sensational individual performance, returning from injury to lead the Sharks to a convincing victory. Made 3 try assists, 4 tackle breaks, 5 line breaks, and 4 offloads in a masterclass performance for the Sharkies.
Yes, absolutely. He made an immediate impact for them, and unfortunately for Anthony Griffin, it's done very little to quell the media controversy that is surrounding that club at the moment in regards to their coaching position.
Well, the talk today is, he's got reapplication, but the talk today is he's got 6 weeks to fix it or he's gone. That's come out.
It may not even get that far. Yeah,
in the media here. So, very interesting.
Interesting. Watch this space.
Yeah.
Okay, so the NRL ladder after 4 completed rounds looks like this. The Broncos sit atop of the ladder as the only undefeated team in season 2023. And 3 teams on 6 points round out the top 4. The Sea Eagles, they're in second. Wayne's Dolphins in third. And Webby's new look Resilient Warriors holding on to 4th place. How good. 10 teams all tied on 4 competition points, with the Sharks' big win catapulting them into 5th spot. The Panthers in 6th. The Rabbitohs in 7th. The Roosters rounding out the top 8 as well. Then it's the Storm, Bulldogs, Titans, Knights, Cowboys, and Dragons, followed by the Eels and Raiders on 2 points, and the poor old Tigers still winless at the bottom of the ladder.
Yeah, good looking table, good looking ladder. With the Warriors sitting in 4th, we're happy. A couple of key games coming up for the Warriors over the next couple of rounds, though. They'll have to curb that problem that we have of leaking early points in games, won't they?
Definitely, slow starts are it's happened every week, so
absolutely. Yeah, and that feeling out period, I think, is now over. This is the point, like round 5 onwards, it's the point where the heavy hitters and the premiership contenders start to make themselves known. And we've got a big game this week against Cronulla. They're coming off the back of a massive win, so that'll be a big test for us. It'll be a good test. Okay, don't forget, this coming Wednesday, we'll be doing our live full review of the Warriors' win over the Bulldogs in our live show, 7 p.m. Queensland time, 8 p.m. New South Wales time, 10 p.m. New Zealand time. And please, if you're a fan of our content, make sure you like and subscribe to the YouTube channel so you don't miss any of our stream content. Other ways you can support us is to subscribe to our Patreon program. The links will be in this video description, or head to our Redbubble store and grab yourself some exclusive Roo Hammer merchandise. We have plenty of designs honouring past legends of our club, current stars, as well as some great novelty prints reliving some of those memorable moments in Warriors history. The link to our store will also be in the description below. That's it for this video. We look forward to seeing you all on Wednesday night.
Thanks, guys. Take care.